As the VP of AI strategy, I work both on how do we apply AI to our products. So when you're building an AI product, there's like 10 different ways you could apply AI, and probably three of those are actually useful, and only one of them will really stick as AI kind of continues to really transform things. I would say when we got CodeRabbit, it was still very early on in the flow when we were still mostly in that more traditional Hinge setup. It became very clear that like as people are generating more and more code, all sorts of different problems that come up. But one of the obvious ones is you can just increase the amount of slop or bad code that's in the code base, and having some kind of enforcement there was good. There's definitely a couple things that we throw into the loop of like, how do we know a code change is safe? There's the human review, there's CodeRabbit. There's also work that we've done to just use Claude Code sub-agents within like the background agents that we use. We also do a bit of, I would say like review by proof, which is having the agent post like a video or like a screenshot or other kind of proof of validation that it actually like went and end-to-end tested a change to the PR. I see in a lot of ways like the human reviewer is shifting from like reviewing the code to reviewing kind of like the proof of validation or work. I definitely say like early on during the eval process, like one of the biggest things that convinced us to ultimately go with CodeRabbit was how many things it was finding that would have like realistically gone missed, like if it was purely a human who was reviewing it, or if we just simply did like a cursor, please review this kind of thing. We really tried to like hone in and train the engineering team to kind of think of their job less of writing code, but like giving AI the right context to make things work. And so the fact that CodeRabbit pulls in those files that engineers are writing both for Claude, Cursor, but now CodeRabbit makes a lot of those comments, I think, more like tuned and integrated. I definitely say like finding stupid bugs that both like humans and our coding agents don't find is a big one. There's like some obvious ones where I would have thought our linter would catch it, but there's some additional linting that CodeRabbit does behind the scenes, and that's able to catch whatever issues there are. There was an example recently where an engineer who's like not typically into AI as much as other engineers, it's like an archetype, recently said like, hey, I really wish people were listening to AI more. And I was like, why is that the case? Then he shows me all these PRs of like CodeRabbit basically telling people not to do like some silly thing. And I thought that was pretty cool, where it's like an engineer, especially, someone who's not typically coming from like the pro AI background, basically saying, like, hey, I wish more people were using AI or, listening to CodeRabbit because it is able to enforce that code pattern.